Trying to connect with Zachary. No, he takes a shot of his own, and Reimer will make a clutch save there.
Spins boosting. Nice pass to Kurt. Great play there. Kurt making a shot himself.
Now does have Rush as an option, boosting forwards, gets it to him, what a save! The Sharky, he gets shot!
1, 2, 3.
Hi friends, how's it going?
Hello and welcome to your favorite and only ZHL talk show. Today's episode is sponsored by Mountain Dew Code Red.
Delicious.
Thank you for keeping our hosts' thirsts quenched and APMs high. For one night only, today's special guest is the voice of the ZHL and now the face of the ZHL. I'm back! Get tissues and prepare for eargasms. My name is Kyle and I am your special guest.
Oh man,
that was so good.
That was so good. Perfect.
Oh, thank you, Kyle, for that.
Thank you, Kyle.
You're quite welcome.
You're the best. You're the best.
Oh, so good.
And he does it for free. You know, normally you have to pay him to do such things, but you
That's
know,
right.
that's for free for us. We're a charity case. That's what we are.
Speaking of paying you for stuff, how has life been since you moved on from your responsibilities in the ZHL? What has Kyle been up to?
Oh, it's been pretty good for the most part. I've got a new girlfriend. And
Congrats.
She's moved in now, and her dog's here with me. Oh God, she hates me.
Hi, doggy.
Hello. What's
Hey,
her
yo.
name?
Her name is Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
She looks like an Ewok,
Oh.
and she hates it when I do this. So I'll put her back down. Work's been going well. I finished an 8-book fantasy audiobook series
It's gotta be
Game of
intense.
Thrones?
about a month ago.
Cute.
God, it might as well have been. No, it was.
What if it
was
becomes the
fun.
next Game of Thrones, though? You ready for that?
What's that?
What if it becomes like the next Game of Thrones? Like it took a while for Game of Thrones series to like pick up
Well,
speed and become really popular.
At this point, I've already recorded the entire
you
series,
go.
so it's fine by me.
There you
just
go.
means I get famous.
Do a live action, just Kyle as Jon Snow.
I kind of doubt that. Actually, the guy who did the audiobooks for Game of Thrones had a cameo on the show at one point.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember who he played, but yeah.
There you go.
So
You can be an
something.
extra. There you go.
Yeah.
Don't forget about us.
No, I think it was like actually a speaking role, but
Really?
I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow.
yeah.
That's
Anyway.
cool.
And I've been doing a lot of anime lately. I'm playing my favorite character that I'm allowed to talk about so far is Aoba Kuranuma from Durarara, which has been a lot of fun.
How's
He's
it? That's awesome.
delightfully twisted. Those characters are fun.
Is it fun getting into the character?
Are you a method
Yeah.
actor?
God, no.
No, no.
I kill people to get ready for my roles.
Voiceover happens too quickly to be able to do what method actors do to get into their roles, I think.
Gotcha.
And you have to be able to switch between different personas so quickly. It just wouldn't make sense. I don't think. Anyway, and what else? Oh, and I'm shopping for a new house
Ooh.
at the moment.
Ooh.
Yeah, gonna move to Burbank.
Oh, damn. Is that cheaper or more expensive out there?
More expensive,
Guy's making money.
nicer neighborhoods,
Oh, yeah?
and I want an actual house. This is a townhouse, so I have no yard and I have an HOA, and they tell me what I can and can't do, and I don't like that. So
I wouldn't either.
yeah, so that's what I've been up to.
Oh, dude, that's
Oh,
sweet.
yeah?
That's sweet.
That's really cool. So, speaking in your best Mario accent, because I see him behind you,
Mario.
do you miss casting, playing, or being a commissioner? You're so busy, but do you miss the good old days? The golden age? I don't hear Mario.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm too busy to think about it.
It's so
honestly.
fucking good. That's so good.
No.
There we
Have
go.
you worked on that?
It's me, Mario.
Have you worked on that? Like, for real. That's so good.
That is really good.
Professional, guys. Professional.
I'm really not good at impersonations. I'm better at
It's pretty good.
my own characters and stuff. I don't know. Anyway.
That's pretty good, man. No, that's pretty spot on.
But yeah, I've honestly been too busy to think about it. Kurt keeps me apprised of what's going on every now and then. Like,
I do.
Messages me on Facebook and he's like, "Hey, this is going on," and so I'll maybe I'll check in. But I'm just life has taken over, so I don't.
No.
Too fast,
Yeah.
too rich. I heard you met Taro, and I know you keep in contact with Kurt. Who else do you talk to still? And is there anyone that you wish you could have met or would like to meet?
Well, I never actually met Kurt in person. I would like to meet Country Ken, probably.
Yeah, I've met Ken. He's fucking cool as hell, man.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
He's so cool.
At least as far as the Zealot hockey community goes, I'd like to meet those fellas. In general, I'd like to meet some voiceover actors like Jim Cummings and Rob Paulson and Maurice LaMarche, and none of you know who I'm talking about, so let's move on.
You're right.
I
You're right.
know. I've heard of Sean Schimmel or whatever from Dragon Ball Z.
About the only voiceover actor I know is Troy Baker. That's because he's in every single video game known to man.
He's in a lot of video games. Nolan North.
Oh yeah.
Nolan
Also in a
North.
whole
Yeah, him
bunch.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the only two that I really know.
Kyle McCarley also.
Yeah, Kyle McCarley.
Yeah, that guy's
He's pretty big.
He's a joke.
Oh,
Anyways.
dude, you're so good. You don't give yourself
You're
enough
so
credit.
Okay, here's a silly question.
Alright.
Okay, in Kurt's Rhyme time, when I talked to him about it, he said that he referenced ZHL and putting together tournaments and organizing stuff. I also know back in the day that the Zealot Hockey website was actually part of yours, I think, too. It was like...
It was like KyleMcCarley.com
and then-
/ZHL.
Yeah.
So, how big was that a part of your identity?
Well, for a few months there, I lived and breathed Zealot hockey, and it was a lot of fun. But some point, probably in the middle of season 2, while I was being the commissioner, I was kind of going, God, I need this to be over. I need to do other things with my life, because the thing is that I don't know. I got too involved. I think it happens for me. I can't do things by half measures, and I saw room. I saw room for improvement. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do this, and I took on way too much, and it got to be overwhelming. So I kind of had to step away. And sorry.
No, we don't blame you. We delegate that stuff out now. We're actually pretty good about the whole delegation thing.
Yeah,
it's been really nice.
It's not good at that.
Oh, if you didn't know, I'm now the CEO of the ZHL group, meaning that I appoint officers. I finally got it from Rep, so we actually have an owner that can actually administer proper officers.
There you go.
I treat it like a business, really. So like I'm always talking about, like, it's like, all right, so we got to have your weekly performance review. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
we gotta have HR file your paperwork and stuff. It's pretty fun.
There you go.
Okay. Well, I need to search for my beanie real quick because the fans demand it.
The fans demand it.
Do you still follow I know you told me earlier, but for the fans, do you still
Right.
follow the streams and forums? Are you still looking for talent and secretly writing posters really good on a board, or no? And make this a long one because I need to find it.
All right. I don't really. Kurt, who's still here with me, since Reimer got up and left. Kurt, you keep me apprised of what's happening from time to time. He stays in touch with me on Facebook, and so he'll just say, hey, this is going on. You should go check this out, and he'll send me a link or something, and then maybe once every couple of months I'll go watch a replay broadcast or take a quick glance at the site and see what's going on. It's very rare, though. I kind of am keeping my distance on purpose because, like I said, I can't
Get sucked back in.
I can't get
Once you're in, there's no escape, man.
'Cause then I'll just live and breathe Zealot hockey for.
It's addictive, that's for sure.
6 months, but I love where things have been going from what little I have seen. It seems like I'm touched that everybody still thinks so highly of me, but it seems like things have improved drastically since I left. So, kudos to you guys.
You set us in the right direction, man. You set down the foundation and we ran with it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. No, seriously, thank you. We were to run around with like chickens with their head cut off, like. Oh man! All right, Reim. He talked for a while.
Okay.
We're waiting. The fans demand you talk again.
Next question. All right. So, I know you're too busy to actually play again, but what was your favorite memory from all your time with the community?
Oh, honestly, the most memorable moment that comes to my mind was probably Vapor's cup-winning goal from season 1 for Marsara. There were a lot of really good games that happened while I was part of the community. Lots of probably better games than that series was, but for some reason that's the one that sticks out in my memory. I guess just because it was the first cup and it was, I don't know, emotions seemed high, so that one sticks out for whatever reason. And then I would say my fondest memory was probably at the end of season 2 when Country Ken presented me with a gift, just a gift card from Amazon that was like pooled money from like everybody in the community. It
was
like
a good 15 people, man. It was.
Yeah, and it was like it. I teared up a little bit almost.
What'd you end up spending the money on? I know. I remember you made a couple posts on Facebook, and like you were asking your real life friends, and I was like keeping an eye on it, and I was like, I know where he got it from.
Yeah. I got. I think I ended up using it on some board games. I have kind of an addiction now to board games.
Yeah.
I do. Twice a month, I have a group of people come over, and we have a game night, and I just I'm totally addicted to finding new board games and buying them and playing them, and some of them totally suck, but some of them are awesome. So I don't even remember which games I got specifically with the gift card, but my Amazon purchase history is full of them.
Oh man. Well, for anybody that's watching, the reason why we gave it to him in the form of an Amazon gift card was because we didn't want him to do something that we know good guy Kyle would have done, which is to give it right back to like the community or some shit like that. So we intentionally gave it to him in an Amazon gift card form so he couldn't give it back to us in any way, shape, or form. Like that was the specific reason why we did it that way.
I think it was Taro himself who jokingly suggested to me when I was asking for advice on what to spend it on. He was like, just hang on to it and give it to the next commissioner, and then
he became commissioner.
Yeah, but Amazon doesn't let you do that.
I know.
Redeem a gift card, it's yours.
That's why we did it that way. That's why we did it that way. We didn't want you to give it back. Oh man, it's so good.
No, thank you guys. That really did. That was really cool.
Yeah, no, that was a cool moment. That was really cool setting it up. It was real fun to do that.
Okay, this one comes from our sponsors. What's your favorite food to eat?
What's my favorite food to eat?
What keeps your your voice in range and all that?
I can tell you that. That's not really my favorite food. I can run to the fridge right now and grab it.
It's not a secret or something?
My Doritos Inferno.
No, it's this Chinese throat syrup that's called. God,
I remember you telling me about this. I remember you telling me about this.
Oh, am I allowed to swear? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
You should have seen Crush.
All right, good. Yeah, hold on. I'll show you the bottle. It's crazy.
Oh hell yeah!
Come back, is he?
No, he's not. He's never coming back.
We're doing it again, no boy. Oh man.
I'm eating on stream, by the way.
These are some of your questions.
All right, so this is. Let me pull up Skype bigger so that I can see what I'm showing you. This is my Chinese throat syrup.
Oh damn!
There's the English.
They're straight up Chinese.
Ninjam Pepakoa, or however you say that. But it's like, it's really good for soothing sore vocal cords and keeping your voice in shape when you're thrashed from video game yelling and screaming.
Oh yeah. I understand the pain.
Yeah, it's actually some guy, the guy who voices the Hulk for a lot of video games especially, and I think some of the cartoons, was like the person in the voiceover community who discovered this throat syrup, so we all call it Hulk juice.
Hulk juice.
He's juicing.
He's juicing, bro.
Fred Tatascia's Hulk juice, and it's because like the Hulk does nothing but scream all the time.
I bet.
So his voiceover sessions are just like that's got to be murder. So he found this stuff, and it gets him through. It's pretty freaking great.
I bet the chick that did Rita Revolta or whatever her name was from Power Rangers, if you remember her, like, whoever did that one, she must have had to use that because she was always talking with that raspy ass voice.
I think the guy who did Dr. Claw on and the Cave of Wonders, from Aladdin, Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget, his name is oh god, why am I blanking on this? Anyway, that voice is
I'll get you next time.
That's tough. That's tough.
Next time.
Oh, that one?
that would just, you'd be dead.
I bet.
So he must use this. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, man. Kyle's so talented. I love it.
He is. He's so good. Like, on the spot, too. Like, he's never even done these. He's just doing them on the spot. So good.
Okay, this one is another one from our fans. Do you have any dating tips for Crush? Crush is struggling to find a mate, and you have a girlfriend. So we're just wondering if you have any ideas to help him. For his next date, where should he take his date, and what should he do? How should his voice sound? As another
It's dating's just being comfortable in your own skin, really, is what it takes. You just have to be okay with who you are, and then like get to know the other person and see how those two personalities mesh. And if they don't, then just don't sweat it. If she's not into it, find somebody else, because it's so much more meaningful when you're both on the same page. Even if you can somehow convince her that she does want to date you, that's just so much unnecessary work. So just go after, like, I'm not saying go for the easy targets, but find somebody that there's a mutual interest in from the start, because it just takes all the pressure out of it.
It's gonna be a while before I find a girl that likes Zealot hockey. It's gonna be tough. That lives close too.
Pretty niche market.
That is very niche, indeed.
What if you're a little bit older, like on the like walking with the cane side? Like, what would you do? And what if you lived in Calgary where there are 7 people? Oh, okay.
For
So
which plays Zealot hockey?
What would be your pickup line if you related to Zealot hockey?
If you relate a pickup line, I'm not good with pickup lines, man. That's just not. Those don't work.
I've always wanted to tell a girl that I can do play-by-play casting of their daily lives, and that's great.
go.
That's a great pickup line. Something to do with that.
Try following a girl around.
Do play-by-play.
Like narrating what she's doing. See where that gets you. If it's not a restraining order, you're in good shape.
You know what they say, like Fridge, you should stalk a girl once a week. Okay, so let's talk more about your actual casting style, because before you, it was mostly Gorilla and I that would cast actual games, and we kind of just, we dicked around. That's usually just how things go. But and that's kind of how most Twitch commentaries have gone, like on the internet. They're just like, hey man, you had some cereal this morning. But you chose to emulate a more professional NHL casting style. Why was that? And yeah,
It's that's what I knew. I've never watched a whole lot of video game casting stuff. I dabbled with StarCraft 2, like ladder play or whatever you want to call it, traditional Melee games, back in like the beta stages. But even then, I didn't really watch other people's casting. I just kind of did it my way, and I always thought, I don't know, it's called esports, so it should sound like a sports broadcast. And ZHL kind of lent itself to it because it was modeled after a real sport. So I don't know. I did what I knew, I guess.
That's why we added in national anthem. Makes it more like a sport.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's why Mr. Alert Eyes did the soundcast. You know, changing it up. He's an innovator.
Kyle has no idea. We had a new broadcaster, and like for a segment of about like 10 minutes, he did nothing but like make sound effects for all the noises. So he'd go like pew, bing, choo, pow, for like 10 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, it was really, we missed you a lot that day.
I feel like, yeah. I feel like that would get really repetitive. Like if you
Oh yeah, we did.
Each sound effect different every time for 10 minutes. That's impressive, but
No, that's what I loved about your casting, especially with Ken. I remember, like in season 1,
Ken was great.
Yeah, Ken was sick. It's like, cause Ken was my prodigy. It was a game versus the Redlings and the Flyers, so it was supposed to be like. Oh, we almost lost our guest there.
I dropped my little
Oh,
hockey stick.
little hockey stick. It's so cute. Is that
This
a pen?
It used to be a pen.
Oh,
Yeah, when I sit at this desk, I just sit here and twiddle with this
just twiddle it.
thing.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
write Zealot hockey on it, so you can think about
Yeah.
us all the time.
There you go. It's a good plan. No.
Not gonna do it.
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, whoa,
I have a real
dedication.
pen. Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
All right, sorry. Go on with your question.
My great story. It was
Yeah.
actually more. I'm just sharing a memory.
All right, go
of you.
for it.
Okay, so then, anyways, it was supposed to be me versus Gorilla, and it was supposed to be like a huge hype thing because that was when we were both still goalie and one of us was good. Anyways, so Ken's like, "Oh man, this is gonna be a sweet game! I can't wait to watch these two legends go at it." He doesn't sound at all like that.
Yeah.
You should have done that for me because I suck. Anyways, like all my voices just sound like someone's dying. Anyways, so anyways, Gorilla like opts out after one goal, and the rest of the game is like, "Oh man, what a sick game this is!" And it's just like it's a complete like blowout. But Ken's just so hyped. He was such a great guy.
It's the thing when you got the right casting style, you can make any game interesting. You know.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. We sometimes struggle with it, man. Like when you get to those 9-0 games, it's really tough to keep it
Yeah,
fun.
it does get harder.
All right, and you say you modeled it after the own way you wanted to roll, but you're famous for the voice clip we used where Mama hides the cookies clip. That's kind of been like that's a reference to other commentators. So did you have any specific influence as actual real life broadcasters or just?
Yeah. I think the first time I heard that phrase was probably only like a couple. Well, it may not have been the first time, but. Anyway, I heard it on I think it was a Penguins local radio broadcast because I had the NHL Game Center app thing, and when I'm driving around in the car, I'll put on whatever game's on and heard one of their commentators say that, and I was like, that's great. And then like 2 weeks later, it just came out. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess that's what I modeled it after. I don't know.
I casted a Strikers.
Can you see it?
Oh.
I had to like etch it in there because
You etched it in there? Yeah. You gotta get a Sharpie
come on,
for that.
focus on it. Focus.
Put your hand behind it. Maybe.
Oh
maybe
yeah, this
then.
is great quality stuff.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not-
some high quality stuff here.
ZHL maybe.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it says.
There we go.
Wow.
All right, you'll always think about us when you twirl it now.
That's right.
But yeah, so I casted a Strikers tournament, and I brought that phrase out just to pay you a little homage, because I would never do that for Zealot hockey, because I know everyone would just be like, "Oh, Kyle's is better. Kyle's is better. You stole that." So, but I did it for Strikers. I did it for one goal. It was really cool. It was a fun moment because
Nice.
I was paying homage to you.
Did they like it?
Oh yeah, of course they did. They loved it.
People went fucking nuts over that shit for
Mm-hmm.
CHL.
Dude, that's what you're known for. Everyone will always forever
Everybody
remember you.
remembers Mama hides the cookies.
Yep.
How did your voice acting career affect your casting ability? Did you kind of use it as any practice, like a format to practice, or just nothing really, just regular stuff?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I with my voiceover career, like everything is, it's listening to other people talk is practice, and just going out and, you know, anytime I'm talking, it's practice. As long as I'm paying attention to how things happen, that's, yeah, you know, it can be useful at some point. In fact, some point, I can't remember if it was during or before my involvement with Zealot Hockey, but I did a commercial campaign for a college. It was a web spot or something for Park University in Utah, I think. And they had like a video of a girl running through the hallways and like sliding or something, and they wanted a soccer commentator type of thing. So it was like, she's coming on strong, past the last barrier, and there it is, goal!
So good, man. Like,
so I mean, that's very similar to what I was doing as a hockey commentator. So
You wow.
just throw a character voice on it.
So talented. What a guy. Okay. And as the broadcast evolved, do you see any of the recent games at all? Like, or not really? No.
I think I watched one replay of a broadcast, I want to say like a month ago or something like that.
do you know who did it? There's 3 people that it most likely could have been. Me, Taro, or Moose.
I think it was Moose.
Yeah, you've heard me and Taro before.
Yeah, because it wasn't you or Taro.
Yeah, Moose came on strong this season. He's really come on good.
Good deal.
So we now have 3 main casters, me, Taro, Moose. We all kind of rotate, so it's no longer just, you know, you.
Yeah.
So we rotate now. It's nice.
There was somebody with him, but I don't remember who. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I watched something back then.
Because I remember back in the day, you and I used to talk about visuals and stuff, having different shot timers and stuff, and you put a lot of time into the actual visual of creating the borders and stuff. How do you feel they look now in that game? What would you do to improve the stream?
The stream's gotten so much better. I was like, I did not have a whole lot of visual experience. I've never been a visual guy. It's all audio.
We still used your logos, man.
Hence the career was. Yeah, thank you.
Dude, they're great. If you ever want to redo them all, we'll give them to you.
That's all right. That took about 3 days of just sitting there working in Illustrator. Anyway, but it's no, it's you guys. The community's growing and everything just looks better. I know you guys are well beyond anything that I came up with or could come up with now. So
modest.
So modest. But well, I mean, it helped a shit ton whenever the devs actually got that nice new UI, like right in the dead center. Looks a million times better. So all we have to do is just put up team logos and we're good.
The music.
Yeah, the music came in. Yeah, and he did all the UI for everything, and it looks so much cleaner. I mean, it's already broadcast ready. All you have to do is put team logos up.
Right, exactly. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember who, but it might have been Fable or someone that requested that you answer a question in a pirate voice. So this is going to be that question. Will you return to the Zealot hockey community in any capacity?
That there be highly unlikely, I'm afraid. No,
He's after our booty.
That there be right where Mama keeps the cookies. No. No, it's highly unlikely. Just like I said, I can't be involved in half measures. So I have to keep my distance because I don't have enough time to make it my life. So
very understandable.
I mean, no, I don't even want to give you a maybe.
Yeah. Okay. It's all right. It's all right. We can handle it.
'Cause I
We're
know
tough.
if
We're
I
tough.
just dabble, it's just gonna slowly seep in, and then I'm gonna lose my girlfriend over it.
Please don't say that to Kurt. Don't.
Oh, sorry.
Please.
Okay. Well, when you were involved and when you were the commissioner, you were probably everyone's favorite commissioner. Ooh, that body
Killed-
shot.
I
That
killed the
body
camera.
shot. Oh, what are you
What have I
wearing
done?
there? Is that a Dalek? Some
Yeah,
Daleks?
Yeah. Wheelchair access costs lives. No longer relevant with the modern era of Dalek, but whatever. Still a funny shirt.
It is.
So, what do you think you did so well when you were commissioner that made you so loved?
Oh,
Do you think you did a good job personally?
the Probe League was probably a pretty big deal, I guess. Scheduling, I guess I did an okay job with. The website was needed and handy. I honestly didn't feel all that great about how well I did. I just tried to be there, stick around and deal with the shitstorms that popped up as best as I could. I'm sure Dark Angel's been.
Oh yeah, he's a
Oh, yeah, dude, he had so much fun this season.
That's the nature of the job, unfortunately.
It is. Oh, man.
Well, let's
It's-
talk about some probe. Oh no, I always do that. I cut people off. I'm sorry.
No,
Connor.
you're fine. I was just
No,
gonna
you're
s-
fine.
It's kind of a thankless job, It's like there's always going to be somebody who's pissed at you for something. It's just
The unsung heroes.
yeah.
But you created the Probe League. What was the purpose of creating such a league? Like, what was your idea of it, and when you envisioned it, and how do you think it is now? Now it's like in a league of its own. Like, it's so much talent now in there.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. I think my reasoning behind it was just like I wanted more community involvement. Specifically, I wanted to be involved because I wasn't good enough to play in the ZHL. A lot of people, like myself, just weren't good enough, didn't have the time to invest in the game to get good enough, or they were developing and weren't quite there yet. And it gave them a place to play with people that were on their level rather than trying to find in-house games sometimes with people who were just way worse than they were and they weren't getting noticed, sometimes with people who were way better than they were and they were just getting trounced. And I think the Probe League just gave people an opportunity to shine as they kind of came into their own and played against people that were closer to their own league. So that was kind of, I guess that was the idea. It was make a minor league version of the ZHL and help the community grow.
Dude, it's worked out a shit ton. I tell you, actually, I got to cast the semifinals for Probe League, and even though it was a best of 3 series, both of them went to game 3s, and man, dude, they were so intense. I think both of them went to OT also, and with endless OT, we actually had like a 4-minute OT. I had so much fun casting Probe League this season. I think I actually had more fun casting the Probe League games because they always ended up being tighter, and it was so much fun. I had
It's great.
blast.
It's and I feel like it's because of the fact that, at least when I was heavily involved, there's that certain echelon that is just like ZHL caliber players, and it's like the top, just small percentage of the community as a whole, and then you go down below that just a little bit, and there's the Probe League level players, and it's like everybody almost. It's like just this huge, like there's just so much more people that are on that level, I feel like, than there are at that top echelon of the ZHL.
It's true. It's very true.
So much insight. And speaking of insight, this is to keep you on your toes.
Okay.
You have to join a clan. Kyle's back. Who does he join? 3D, Phil, or Fruits? I know that you have no idea who some of those clans are, so just hit me with the name.
I obviously remember Fruits. They were big at the time that I was around. And I do remember seeing the Phil tag on your name, Reimer. I don't have any idea who 3D is.
They're new. They're only like in the last month or
See,
2 months.
I never joined a clan. I'm not a clan guy.
I understand.
I don't see the. Yeah, you were the same way, at least.
Not anymore.
Wow,
He's given
you
up
were.
that
No, dude, I'm not in the clan anymore. I joined Crooks, which was Ken's clan. The only reason was because I actually physically met this guy. He bought me 5 beers while I was in Seattle at like some piano bar when I had my ex-girlfriend there at the time. But like, he bought me booze, and then like just as he got the 5th one in on me, she went to go to the bathroom, and just as she gone, Ken like leans over to me. He's like, "Yo, bro, you gotta join my clan." And I was like, at this point, I can't say no.
Can't say no. Yeah,
I mean,
5 beers.
I know.
What a guy.
Yeah, I'm not a clan guy. I'm not. The answer to that is no. Sorry.
No. Sorry, no. See ya. Okay, back to league talk. Do you have any advice for Moose? He's the ZHL commissioner for season 5. You're talking directly right now. Look right in the camera. What do you say to Moose? I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Good luck to you. It's like I said, it's kind of a thankless job. There's gonna be guaranteed there will be some fiasco that you will have to deal with. Something awful's gonna happen that's just completely unforeseen circumstances. Some rules loophole or something is just gonna happen that you have no expectations for it happening, and people are gonna get pissed off at you either for that or for rules they don't like, and just grit your teeth and put your foot down, I guess. Good luck.
Okay. Shit. I'm trying to think of looking through the questions. What's the next best one for you to answer?
We got so many for him, man. We got like 4 pages.
I kind of want to just cut all the questions, just ask, like, make requests.
No, dude, there were so many good ones that were written down. What's
We have a lot. Okay, here's a good one. A source has come to me and told me that 3 out of 4 ZHL seasons have been won by a team with stealth on the roster. Are you a believer in the prophecy?
With stealth on the roster, really?
Yeah. All but every team but season 3 had stealth on the roster.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
he's
I
the
know
most
he was
winning
on
player.
Our Star roster when they won season 1. Season 2 was
Flyers. He was on that roster too.
Flyers. That's right. I forgot about that.
And then this season, he was on their roster too.
Did he play in the?
Don't think so. He was nothing but a probe league for season 2 and season 4.
Because they were kind of stacked.
He's the only 3-time winner, I think.
Right, 'cause they had Amen. That's right.
He's the highest winning player of all time.
Well, congrats to Stealth. We talked a fair amount when I was in the community. We did some like training sessions where he like taught me some, or well, we just like scrimmaged, just the 2 of us, or he was like trying to help me get better, stuff. He's a good guy. I don't know if there's anything. He's a good team player, so maybe there is some merit to having him on your team. Maybe it'd be a good choice for owners next season.
He's a good morale booster. That's what he is.
To pick Stealth up.
Guarantee Navy SEALs is like, I got it this time. I can't. Stealth first round, baby.
How's Maha doing these days?
Oh, Maha, he came back. I don't know. Was he became an owner this season. He joined through free agency this season. He got dumped on a really bad team, and then he got given ownership. Some shit went down, but he didn't have a very good season, obviously. But I mean, he'll bounce back. He'll bounce back. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Right, because I know like season 2. Up until that final,
he had never lost anything.
He had never lost a tournament or a league.
Yep.
And he lost in the final on that one. And that was, how many games did that one go?
That was a game 4. All finals have been game 4s. We've never had a game. We've never had a sweep in the finals, and we've never had a game 5 in the finals. They've all been game 4s.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first one he lost. I remember that.
I know. That was a big deal.
He won the MVP.
Yeah, and he still won MVP. That was the best part. Even when Maha loses, he still wins.
Yep.
Oh man, that's great.
Every season has had at least one team that had a major trade propel them to the finals. 3 of which were won by. I don't even understand this question at all. Okay. I can't understand this because Yeah. Anyways, do you feel trades in Zealot hockey are kind of overpowered? If so, how would you approach changing them? Like, I guess the question is kind of phrased in the way that in NHL you kind of can go one for one or in that sort of regard and get an even distribution from the trade, but in Zealot hockey it can kind of be really one-sided at times.
I don't know. In the NHL, it doesn't have to be one for one by any means. But there is kind of like, I think there's like a salary equivalent kind of thing that's at least taken into consideration between the owners when they're making the deal. And I think that there's a system of checks and balances kind of in there where other owners can veto the trade if they want to. I'm not sure if that's the case or not in the pros, but I would assume that there's something in place like that. In my opinion, no, I don't think that trades are overpowered. I don't think that they would that the league would benefit from taking them out. I think the only time that a trade is imbalanced is if somebody's making a bad decision for their team specifically, or their club as a whole, I guess, because you got the pro league as well. And maybe you add in a veto system from a vote from the other owners or something, but I don't know. Maybe there needs to be some form of checks and balances system in place. I don't know what, but something to keep things from going totally off the rails, maybe. But I still think you need trades. I think they keep things interesting. And especially in a league where, you know, players have no real say over who they're playing for or who they're playing with, they need to have some kind of option to find a way off that team, and if they don't like it, go play something else, I think. I don't know. My 2 cents, I guess.
Yeah, well, the easiest way to solve all that is to have a league structured, because right now we have sometimes we have owners that aren't so good and owners that are good. How did you go about picking the owners from your season, and how do you spot someone that might be not the best owner?
Well, it's I don't know how it is now, but it was kind of difficult that season. There were, I think I maybe turned down like 2 or maybe 3 prospective owners. It's not like there was an abundance of people interested in the job.
Pretty much every season. It's always been like that.
Yeah, that's.
Although this season is looking up pretty better. I think we have like 16 people signed up for owner or something like that. So we're actually looking pretty good this season.
You said there's been some growth, and you might be thinking about expansion.
Oh yeah, we're thinking about 10 teams. So that'd be 20 teams, including probe.
I have games every night.
Yeah, that's the hard part is the schedule. We're trying to figure that out because we don't want Fridays, we don't want Saturdays.
Right.
So that means you're gonna have to double up one day, and on top of that, you're gonna have to have 5 games on Sunday if you don't spread them out. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Scheduling is gonna be really hard, but we'll figure it out.
I don't envy you on that. But I don't know. I think what makes a good owner is just just somebody who's involved in the community, who's dedicated, and who knows the player base well. Not necessarily the best players, but people who are involved and who. It's kind of hard to know how somebody's going to manage the team until they do it. But so like in season 2, I don't know how many owners did we have that were continuing from the previous season, like 1 maybe or 2.
I can't remember. It was
I don't know.
pretty little.
Yeah. So it's hard to tell who's going to be good or not until they've done it once. But I think the benchmark is just knowing the player base, ultimately. Being involved in the community.
That's fair. An anonymous source has told me that Wildfire and Bruce Campbell are both planning a big return to the ZHL level of competition. There's been a lot, since we spoke about controversy as a commissioner, there's been a lot of discussion and debate about what to do with free agency and probe league restrictions, so that way we don't have the cream of the crop kind of spilling over into the different leagues or having teams tank to get more talent. What do you think should be done with returning players that didn't sign up?
Yeah, first of all, I think you can't get rid of free agency entirely. It's needed for community growth. You don't want the league to be overly exclusive or exclusionary or anything, and especially Pro League. That's there for the newcomers to come in and find a home. But there's always going to be ideas for better ways to handle free agency, I think, or different ways anyway. I think the supplemental draft that you put in was a significant improvement to the model.
That was a headache and a half.
I like it. It made sense conceptually. It was just too complicated for people to wrap their heads around, I think.
Yeah. Anytime that we talk about new rules, like the first thing I'm talking about is like, yeah, it sounds like a great idea, but like, how are we actually going to implement it and maintain it?
Because who's going to actually read the rule book and try and decipher what we're trying to explain
well,
here?
not only just reading the rule book, but like consistently keeping up with it like every single day, and then they would have to also watch every single game and know every single stat for every single player, and it's just... Like, when it gets to tedious stuff like that and you start talking about, like, percentages, it's just really tough to keep up with.
I don't know. I mean, I think... I don't know how the game's developed so far, but it would probably go a long way to be able to track statistics for players within the game and then take those statistics straight out of the game and put them on the site so that there's less data entry for people to have to deal with, and then maybe you can, I don't know, somehow use those numbers to assign a value or something, like I don't know. It's
tough.
It's a very difficult question to answer, I think, and there's not going to be a perfect solution. There's just going to be, the best thing you can come up with at the time.
The struggle.
Yep.
All right, Kurt, do you have any questions that you want to shoot off before we go to we get some chat in? I think everyone wants to talk to Kyle.
Everyone wants to talk to Kyle. Let me see. League management. So, oh yeah, okay. Make sure that we can see those awesome floppies in the background.
I'm propping my legs up. I'm kicking back and relaxing, catching the.
We want you to be comfortable, friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there's been some talk about league management, and especially league managers. Some people want them to have more power than what they have, other than just glorified rule readers, because that's pretty much all they are. Is they just read the rules and make a decision. Some people want them to have more power, and they also want more of them. What do you think is the reason? Like, what do you think the actual job needs to be for league managers that aren't the actual commissioner?
Gosh.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're they have some they did have some voting power if a controversy ruled up or something. There was some, I don't know, there was some provision in the rule book where there was a vote required consisting of all the owners and the commissioner and the league managers. But I can't remember what that was right now, so I don't know. Anyway, I think. God, that's a tough question.
I know. We're gonna get through the tough ones before we go to chat.
Because you want the commissioner is kind of his show, I think. So you don't want the league man, but at the same time you don't want him to be doing stuff that everybody disagrees with. So
we still have the impeach option in there. It's still in there.
There's an impeachment option? I don't
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah, there is. It's in there. It's still in there. There's no procedure behind how impeachments are run. It just says a league commissioner is in power until they either physically relinquish it themselves or they're impeached.
Or they're impeached. I don't think that was in there when
It's in there. It was always been there, man, since season one. Since season one.
I don't know. Anyway, I think at least when I was doing it, the league manager's job was to help me deal with all the headaches that were coming up, and help keep things organized when I wasn't around. But I guess in all actuality, as far as the words on the page say, they don't really have a whole lot of power. It's just look at the rule book and see what it says for whatever the situation is. And I don't know. I don't know what the solution, what the answer is to your question, honestly, because obviously there's going to be situations where something comes up that you didn't expect to come up, and the commissioner's not around to deal with it, and there is no solution without some form of ruling that maybe doesn't have an answer in the rule book, and you're almost guaranteed to upset somebody. So maybe the league manager needs more power. I don't know. Maybe there needs to be another tier of management above league manager but below commissioner that has more power. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, we've talked about adding in like a head league manager or some sort of position like that, but we don't know. Also, who was your favorite league manager when you were commissioner?
Well, I only had 2, I think. It was just you and Taro, right?
I think so. I think you had one more. I think you had Wild on as a commissioner.
Oh no, wait. No. Were you a league manager? I think it was Town Crier and Taro.
No, it was me too. I was on there. You had 3 or 4. I remember.
No, there were officially only 2, and then I think I extended a title to somebody else later. So it's probably the 3 of you. I don't remember, honestly. But I don't know. I didn't have any reason to complain about anybody. So it's, I mean, you all did, especially you and Taro. You guys kept dealing with casting when I was not, like, I just could not do it. So, like, especially on the Sunday nights, this community just loves playing on Sundays, and that's the night of the week I go out and play real games. I can't cast on Sunday nights, and there's like 8 games happening. So you and Taro did a damn good job of taking care of that shit. So I love you both.
This is gonna tie into a guest question, but we still got more. So Kyle, tell us about your favorite owner, Ooter. Tell us about Ooter, Kyle. How much do you love Ooter?
How candid can I be?
As candid as you need to be. Don't worry. Whatever you say won't be as bad as Crush. He killed people.
Is Ooter still around in the
Nope,
community?
he is not.
No?
He is long gone.
Well, that's helpful for how I answer the question then. Ooter was, without question, the biggest headache of of season 2. It seemed like every rule he wanted to throw in his 2 cents on why it was a bad rule and why it needed to be changed in some way. And it wasn't so much that he had complaints. It was the attitude that he had about them, because he would get so frustrated that people didn't agree with his opinion, and he was so adamant that his opinion was right that he would be like, you people don't understand. I know how to manage this correctly. I'm a good problem solver. You're not. It was kind of the attitude behind it. So yeah, he was definitely part of the reason that being the commissioner was not desirable. I would say in season 2, he wasn't all of it by any means, but he was part of it.
Speaking about old people or people that used to be in the community, recently
Speaking of old people,
I actually went to the police station recently to file a missing persons report for Leroy and Reputed. And I was just curious if you saw them relaxing on the beaches in California.
have they both been gone?
Yeah.
Quite a while.
That's
Crush has taken over some dev
I was gonna say,
responsibilities.
Does
Yeah.
Crush have the ability to publish and everything?
Yeah, he's got everything. We just had him on Tuesday. We had a lot of fun with that.
I just realized that I've had these headphones on to try and keep you guys sound out of my microphone, and my headphone just slipped off there, and I could hear you coming out of my speakers. All this time, these poor people have been dealing with subpar sound quality
that's
because
all right.
I didn't turn my speakers off.
Oh, that's great. You always sound great,
You've been
friend.
great. Yeah.
No, you can keep going.
No, I've not. Like I said, the only guy that I really keep in touch with is Kurt. I mean, Town Crier might send me a message every now and then on Steam. Taro might drop me a line very, very infrequently. But no, I don't really hear from any of the old crew.
Oh, that's a shame. So Reimer didn't want to ask this question, but it was written by a fan, so I will ask it. So far, there's been 3 out of the 5 commissioners have been lead casters. So 3 out of the 5 have been casters. Why do you think that is? And why is Kurt so inept that he hasn't done it himself?
I think the main reason is just because of the fact that it requires so much dedication to the game and to the league and to the community, and that I think it's just similar skill sets and similar dedication levels are called for between the 2 jobs. I don't think that there's necessarily certainly not a requirement that somebody who wants to run the league needs to be good at casting or vice versa, but I think it's just that there's crossover, on the Venn diagram of skill sets that you need to be a good commissioner and that you need to have a good casting ability. There's a lot of overlap there, so I think that's why that happens. I don't know why Kurt hasn't. I think he'd be a great commissioner, but I think he just doesn't want to deal with it, and he's got a point.
I've been having fun in the manager seat for a while, so I mean I'm cool with this. I'm cool.
All right.
I'm cool with playing the manager game. It's been fun for the 4 seasons that I've done it, or whatever amount.
You just want to have somebody above you that you can point the finger at when people are complaining.
Yeah, totally.
Not my fault.
Yeah. Okay. I've done that on stream before. I'm like, well, Dark, it's your decision. Okay. So you done with questions, Reimer? We're gonna turn it over to Twitch to ask them.
Well, I'm actually going off of Twitch right now.
Oh.
So you've been asked. I nearly got your names confused for a second. Kyle, to talk about Europe, EU, whatever you want about Europe. Why don't you talk about what are your opinions on Europe?
On the European Zealot hockey community?
Or the continent, whatever you'd like.
I've honestly never really paid that much. I feel like a dick for saying it, but I've never paid much attention to the European side of the ZH community. I know that they're there and they're into it. They like the game. They got more votes or something or they did at the time that I was doing it. That they had a higher rating or more people voting on the rating
Right.
on EU than they did in North America. But the community is a little bit less tight-knit. It's just kind of lots of pickup games and stuff, and I don't know what the difference is, really. I don't know why the culture is different from one side of the ocean to the other. I think it'd be great if the EU side could put together a little bit more cohesive thing like the ZHL is, but and then maybe we could keep people watching in the off season, because then you could like stagger the two leagues.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty cool, but I don't know. Maybe it's because of the language barriers, because there's so many different languages spoken over there. I don't know. Really don't know.
Could you do the mama quote, but with the European accent of your choice?
Are there any Europeans watching at the moment?
Yes.
Yes.
Where are they from?
Oh man. Where's Rig from?
Probably not Germany. Just do Germany. It's probably the best.
I'm pretty sure they have the most. Mostly the EU guys are from Germany.
There we go. See, they'll love it.
So I should do German.
Yes.
I don't know,
Let
man.
me know if
Do
it's
German
good.
because I'm going to offend them.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because
Oh yeah, Rig's from Latvia. There it
They
is.
do a Latvian accent.
there's
What
oh
Canadian?
I don't even it's no offense, bud, but I honestly don't know what a Latvian accent sounds like. No offense. There's actually there's a frozen yogurt place in town that's called Jorgenfrus. And now because of that sign, we don't even go in there because they have terrible frozen yogurt. But just because of the name of that place, anytime my girlfriend wants to go get frozen yogurt, I start going Jorgenfrus. Oh, let's go get the Jorgenfrus. Oh, it's good, yeah.
Oh man.
So you want me to say the oh, and he puts the top shelf right where Mama keeps the cookies. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What did I do?
Reimer, why do you have to ask these things?
Okay, it's not
That was
just.
great.
To be fair, that's not what all Germans sound like. That's just a character voice on top of the German accent, and it's probably a very bad German accent.
But
But
joke's on you. The Professor X is gonna cut this video right before he said that.
This is why no one likes America. This is why nobody likes us. I mean.
yeah. Oh, that reminds me of a story.
Yes.
So a big part of what I do as a voice actor is audiobook narration. And a good chunk of the audiobooks that I have recorded in the past have been done with an English dialect. And I did one. There was a sci-fi novel. Actually, it was two parts, two different sci-fi novels, and there's a third one coming, but I don't know if they'll hire me for it because my English dialect is great for American audiences, and I have fucking worked on that shit, man. That dialect, trying to get it perfect. But this particular book series was written by an Englishman, and it's quintessentially English writing style, and it was published overseas first before it was published on our side of the pond. And on audible.co.uk, the reviews are scathing. They hate me so much. And like half of them are just like, why does he say certain words weird? I don't understand. I can't figure out what part of England he's from. And then there's a couple people who are like, it's because he's American. He's an American pretending to be a Brit. He's the worst scum of the universe.
That fucking Yankee.
What the hell, man? When British actors do the American accent,
I
like
know,
even
right?
when they're bad at it, I don't like blame them. Like,
Right?
come on.
But they're so now granted, one of those reviewers was like, well, I'm also an audiobook narrator. I would have loved to get this job.
See ya.
Sorry.
Alright, well, now you've been requested to do a Hispanic accent. It's okay. There's only
This
one
could get
person.
really racist really
that's-
fast. I wouldn't touch that one.
That's gonna be really offensive. I guarantee it.
You don't have to do it, Kyle.
What if I just did like an impersonation of Slowpoke Gonzalez from Looney Tunes?
That's good. That's good.
Si, senor. Yeah. No, not ja. That's Dutch German. Si, senor.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what to say.
Everything you're doing is great.
Oh man.
They want you to do a hee like Rush. Rush has a just a great laugh. Yeah, can you just do it?
You'd have to hear it. You'd have to hear it to understand
Yeah,
it.
you'd have to know. That's
He's never
true.
talked to Rush before.
Rush never fucking talked when I was around.
That's true. Yeah. Now he's on TeamSpeak all the time. They play Heroes. Yeah.
It's like, I won't go on fucking TeamSpeak. I hate that shit.
Yeah, we got Rush and Ruckle and everything.
I'm phrasing. I don't know if those were his words.
Oh man. Any more questions you got, Reim, from the Twitch?
I'm just waiting to see. We were just getting lots of requests for
Yeah,
voices.
yeah, that's
we
all.
got a request for you to do a Ken impersonation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, lots.
There's
of
there's no way you can hit that. Like that's
can never
that's
be,
untouchable. Like that's so special.
No, it was sealed!
That's a good attempt. That's good. That's good.
Well, except when he did that, he was like on his, like he had a headset mic on or something, so it was just like, right. No, it was sealed! So it's like just
Oh man, that's good.
Okay, my
good.
anonymous source has requested that I also bring up again, even though I thought I said it before, that the site is getting overhaul very
Good.
soon.
good.
Good. Fuck you, site. Get better.
Yes, we're
It's
getting.
gonna go back to the Kyle domain name. It's like
Not
sign
happening.
up for the forums, buy an audiobook.
No, I think an overhaul's a great idea on that website. I threw that shit together in like a couple of hours on WordPress and then just hacked the code to pieces. I'm not a web developer, so
So let's see, fans of Kyle and Rhyme Time and Zealot Hockey in general, do you have any questions for the voice? How do you feel about being called the voice of the ZHL? You're one of the most iconic casters.
it's very flattering, especially since I haven't been around to do it in.
2 seasons.
Has it only been 2? Oh, right.
It's been 2 seasons, but that's been like 6 months.
That's like yeah.
It's like half a year.
Good chunk of time. So I'm touched that people still think so highly of me. You have very inflated opinions of me, but thank you. I'll take it.
Crazy asks, how are you doing in CS:GO?
CS:GO? I haven't played CS:GO in a while, in a hot second. See, I don't have a whole lot of time for gaming these days. The past week or so, maybe 2 weeks, I've been playing GTA 5, specifically GTA Online mostly, just with some buddies of mine, and that's been fun. But I'm sure I'll get over that within a month, or just not have time to play it soon. Counter-Strike is one of those games that just keeps on, like, you just keep on going back to that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You're just sitting around, you're bored, I'm just like, play a couple rounds of Counter-Strike for 20 minutes or whatever.
Okay, this is a good question. One was asking, how do you keep such a rock-hard bod? But we all know it's that Chinese medicine, right?
Medicine.
Okay.
You can't see the flab.
With so many games per season, how to make each game special? How can caster make it more memorable? What things can a caster do each game to make the audience remember the game more? What would you do?
I don't know. I don't remember most of the games I casted, for sure. I think it's... I don't know, it's just, you just gotta be interested in what's happening and try and be interesting with what you're saying. I think it helps to have a good color commentator if that's possible. I mean, Ken added a lot to casts when he was doing his color commentary, because it was just so great to have somebody who, and typically for a color commentator they need to they need to know the game really well. They're more. It's more crucial for a color commentator to be good at Zealot hockey than it is for a play-by-play commentator.
And now we don't have color.
Because play-by-play, all you do is just say what's happening. And it's nice to have the color because there aren't a whole lot of moments where you can take a breath. But when you can, it's nice to have somebody there. And Ken was just great at knowing when the right time to say stuff was. And he was great at saying the right stuff. So I think that helps keep it interesting, because then they just come in and they're like, yeah, that was a great play because of this reason, or whatever, you know. It was a great save. He was in the right position. Or, oh, he would have made that save if he would have not used his boost at the wrong time, except far more intelligent way of saying it than I just did.
Special way. I think EU kind of hates you, but that's just one guy. Just because of that German. I'm joking. They don't hate you.
They love you. They love you.
They love you. I love you.
Even they, no, dude, they seriously love you too. Like whenever we gave the the hype for this video, when we dropped that on the finals, like a bunch of EU guys were like, "Oh my God, Kyle's coming back!"
Really?
Yeah, dude. Of course.
That's so funny because I never had I never even touched that side of the game.
Yeah, dude. They watch a lot of our streams. So.
Well, yeah, they probably buy your audiobook.
Yeah.
I'm flattered.
Like, we love his accent.
I'm sure one of them in that forum was a ZH player. They were just giving you some flack because they knew you.
Yeah.
Okay, try to keep this one PG-13. Gorilla says this is a mandatory rhyme time question, so this isn't me. This is just mandatory. I don't make the rules.
I know where this is going already.
Okay. Kyle?
Yes.
Who is your favorite adult film star? Oh, it got hot in here.
I am honestly struggling to remember any names.
I love how he's thinking about it.
Like, the only one that I remember is Jenna Jameson, and I don't know if I ever actually watched any of her.
I honestly have no idea what her face looks like. I couldn't tell you, but I've heard that name before, like so many times.
Yeah, that's
but
the thing. Like
I think she's from the '80s. Like,
yeah, she quit doing porn when I was in like middle school or something. So I don't think I ever watched any. Like,
oh man, that's funny.
Oh man, yeah. There was one that I really liked, but I can't remember her name now. So sorry.
Oh man. All right, we have any great questions?
Awkward.
Exactly, but it's mandatory.
Kurt, I know her body.
God.
Okay. Do we have any other great questions?
It's the last time you're gonna be seeing Kyle for a while, friends. But ask him now.
This is your one chance to have this man, who, as you can see, is very important.
I don't know about important, but
He's moving up in the world, literally. He's moving, so.
I'm moving sideways.
Okay. Here's an actual good one from EU again. See, they love you. You have to read so many books. Which sci-fi book would you suggest? I guess because you have to read the book because of the scripting of it all.
Yeah. Which sci-fi book would I suggest, just in general, or?
Well, your favorite book.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Hands down. I love that series, the whole series. One of my favorite quotes was from, I think it's the last book in the series, Mostly Harmless, where it's just, there's so much nonsensical, silly shit in those books, but there was just like this nugget of profound wisdom in the midst of nonsense that was like, you cannot see what you see because, or you cannot see what I see because you see what you see. You cannot know what I know because you know what you know. What you see and what I see and what you know and what I know cannot be compared or cannot be measured because they are not of the same kind. And I just was like, whoa, that's deep.
Friends, I will be right back. Y'all just keep filling time.
All right.
Okay, this is another voice request if you're up for it. Going back to your casting days, will you say this as professional and broadcasty as you can? I'm going to link it to you directly into the Skype. If
All
you're
right.
Okay. Fulfill this request.
Okay, I'm going to read it word for word what it says.
I just read it too, and I'm like, that
Yeah.
doesn't seem right.
3D is not recruiting fun and friendly players to join their ranks. We focus on training and helping each other progress to the next level of excellence. But we're not recruiting, so
We're not. It's exclusive.
sorry. I think that was supposed to say now recruiting.
I think so too. If I remember the copy paste stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your what work have you done that you're most proud of out of everything you've ever recorded?
Oh. That's a tough one. It's kind of between two different things. There was an audiobook I did probably 2 years ago. No, a year and a half ago. I don't know, something like that. Called The Prince of Shadows by Rachel Kane. And it was a reimagining of Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, cool.
Which is my least favorite Shakespeare. I fucking hate Romeo and Juliet. I think it's boring and just, I don't know. I don't like Romeo and Juliet. I think the most interesting characters die 2/5 of the way through, and then you've got a whole bunch of horse shit to deal with from there on. But Prince of Shadows took without hurting any of the original material, kind of did I'm gonna get kind of theater geeky here. I don't know if anybody knows Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which is with Hamlet. Yeah, it's like kind of based loosely, like it's within Hamlet, but it follows lesser characters as they kind of weave in and out of the scenes that they're in Hamlet, and then go off and wax philosophic. But it's sort of kind of like that, following the character of Benvolio from Romeo and Juliet. And you'll see little snippets of stuff you'll hear little snippets of stuff from that are actually from the original play, but then there'll be a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't in the play that's about Benvolio, and he's a really interesting character, and they've added in this element where Mercutio is secretly has a secret gay lover, who's a member of the church, like he's a friar or something. Wow. So or a monk, and so it's just like it's a really interesting redubbing of Romeo and Juliet, and I was really proud of the way that I narrated the death scene for Mercutio in that book. And then the other thing is probably Aoba from Durarara. He's just a fascinating character, and he's a lot of fun to play, and it's probably one of my my highest profile job that I've done so far.
Are you gonna go to like Comic-Con?
All right, I'm back, friends.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. What were y'all talking about?
You.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, we're just doing our best impression of you.
You missed it.
Oh, damn. I'll have to rewatch
it. No, I'm not scheduled for any conventions yet. No, but I think it's a distinct possibility at some point in the future. Maybe I could end up at probably not Comic-Con, but maybe Anime Expo here in LA.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or, they have anime conventions all over the world, so that could be cool.
Yeah.
Get flown to South Korea, man.
I actually go to California to visit family there. Some times I'm in Malibu, other times by Westlake. I don't know where that is close to you at all.
I don't know where Westlake is. Malibu is just like 20 minutes from here or something like that.
Oh man, we could have been hanging out all those times.
I know.
Some bullshit. Okay. Crazy asks, going back to the erotica. Well, we've been talking. Have you been forced to do any books you didn't like, and how did it go?
I can't. Oh boy, I can't be forced into doing a project. I mean, I could be. I could I could get myself into an obligation that I wish I could get out of, but I've already I've already said I'm going to do it. But I don't think that's ever happened. No, I did. There was one, what they called a romance novel, was what they claimed it was. Who they asked me to do the audiobook for it, and they said in the disclaimer that there was some sexual content in it, and I was like, I don't have a problem with sexual content in and of itself. That's fine as long as it serves a good story. So I was like, but because there is some, just give me a chance to pre-read the material, and then I'll let you know my answer. And it was absolute smut. It's just like, it was not well written.
50 Shades of Grey?
Worse.
No, I don't think it was that bad. But it was.
What's the name of the book?
But it was just like, no, I don't even remember the name of the book. But it was just like, there was no real story to it. It was just excuses to get to, like, graphic sex scenes where they used words like like thrusting his throbbing cock and stuff like that. You know, just
Please,
like really graphic words that they just like wanted to throw in there. And it wasn't like they were doing interesting sexual things. It was like they were having sex. You know, whatever. It wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't like they were describing some S&M shit. It was just plain old sex. But there was like really graphic word choice, and there was no story, and they only had like 3 sex scenes in it, so it wasn't even like, there wasn't even like they were using the shitty narrative as an excuse for sex, and then they didn't even have that much sex in it, so it was just a awful book, and yeah, I turned it down.
Not a kid.
Okay,
Not a kid.
I'll let you choose between 2 questions. Both of them are posed by Gear. The first is, you said you liked board games, so which one right now is your favorite and go-to? The other question that you could potentially answer is, what is a throbbing cock?
Right. I will go ahead and answer the first question. And my probably my most favorite right now is Coup.
What's Coup?
It's a card game. It's a card game. It's right over there. I'll grab it. Really
Yeah,
quick.
you grab that.
Yeah, you grab
Visual representations on Rhyme Time. You know, we go the extra mile.
that.
We
yeah.
really do on this show.
Bring us all your board games, right?
I just really love that art, man, with the floppy disks, like, being the art itself. That just makes it so fucking cool. I love it so much. Oh, man, that's so cool.
I'm afraid I'm going to disconnect the camera if I move it much more, but
It's alright. Yeah, I can see it. That's really cool. I love
That's Mario.
it.
In case you didn't realize, boys.
Yeah, so this is Coup. Get that where it's not glaring so much. It's got a nice shiny foil box. It's a card game where it's kind of poker-ish a little bit. You get 2 roll cards in front of you, and each different roll has different abilities that you can use on your turn, but only you know which 2 rolls you have in front of you, and you can lie.
Ooh.
So you can claim different rolls than you actually have, and do different stuff, but people can call you on your bluff, and if they're right when they call you, you lose one of your characters, and if they're wrong, they lose one of theirs. So it's just, and then it's an elimination game. It's the last person with at least 1 character card left wins. It's a lot of fun.
Damn, dude. Backfish is a trooper, man. He's staying up really late to watch this. You know, they're like 5 to 6 hours ahead of us. He's still up. He said, wow, it is late, and he can almost see the sun.
Wow. Kudos to you, sir. Is he still like, he was kind of like running things over there in the EU?
Last season, they actually ran their first draft league, which was their second official league. And they ran a draft league in
yeah, because they did a clan league
right
first.
Right, the first, and then the second season they went with a draft league, so they called it the D League. and which I thought was a pretty fun name. And Regenesis was the guy that pretty much he casted every single game. First off, he casted every single game. Does it sound familiar? He was also the head commissioner and pretty much was like leading everything and writing the rules and everything. So he literally did every single game by himself, and he was the commissioner. So,
way more.
yeah, no, Rig did an awesome job for their league, and then they finally found somebody different. His name's Derek on the forums. I think that is Backfish on. I can't remember.
I don't know. I thought
Derek.
Backfish had his own name on it. I don't know.
Anyway. I can't remember for the life of me. I really can't. But anyways, the new guy, Derek on the forums. I can't remember what his EU name is. Junkie. That's right. So it's Junkie. So Junkie's gonna be the new commissioner for them for season 3 or the second draft league, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I guess they're struggling with the name of it, but so he's gonna be running the show, which is good to see.
We stole the good name.
ZHL. Yeah. Well, they got the EZHL, which I think is way cooler. Oh yeah, and then why didn't you just name it the Probe Hockey League? Like, why did you have to call it the Zealot Hockey Probe League? Like ZHPL just does not roll off the tongue.
Because the game is Zealot Hockey.
Yeah, I know.
And the Probe is like the division. I don't know.
The PHL would have sounded way cooler.
But you're not playing as probes.
Yeah,
Zealots.
I know, but like, come on, like it would have been really cool.
I guess we could have gotten the devs to just throw in a version where
the only reason
you just
they're all probes, dude. That'd be so funny. That'd be so cool. Everyone becomes probes. Crush, we need you to work on this right away.
Like,
come on, Crush.
You're playing the Probe League game, and then you can just call it Probe Hockey League. You can change the name.
Oh man, so we call it Best League now.
Unit.
Yeah, that's true.
It was.
It's true. Let's but no, we call it Best League now, because it is seriously the best league. The most entertaining games come from Pro League. That's a fact.
It's good stuff.
Oh man,
this is another board game that I really like.
Ooh.
Another card game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a werewolf, but it's one night werewolf. It's like a werewolf is like Mafia, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which obviously everybody in this community probably is familiar with because of the StarCraft version.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
But one night werewolf, granted it's a live and in-person version of Mafia, so when you're actually playing the card game version of Mafia, you have to have somebody sit out and be the moderator and like run things, do what the computer does for you in StarCraft. But in one night werewolf, you have an app on your phone that reads off what all the roles are supposed to do in the night, and then you wake up and you may be a completely different role because things can switch during the night, but you're trying to figure out what happened so that you can figure out who the werewolves are, and so that you can lynch one of the werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole game is
just
right
like
there.
Mafia.
It's just one night.
Yeah, that's cool. It's really cool.
It's fun.
Watch like
I like party games.
I guarantee like Kyle made all these games and this is all just like a big ad.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this other board game I really like.
Werewolves made by Bezier Games. I think.
See,
it's
now he's advertising from it. You're right.
It's a German company.
German. There we go. That's where you hide your money.
Our sponsors aren't gonna like this.
And I think I don't know. It says on the thing Indie Boards and Cards, but I think that's the publisher. I don't know who makes it. Ricky Tata Lamame Games. I don't know. Anyway.
All right. Okay. I don't know if see, there's a request to ask you about a certain trade that happened in season 4 that created a huge asterisk and the season doesn't count anymore.
God.
Okay, so basically, Kurt, why don't you handle this? Because I don't know how I can. I don't know if Kyle's up to the meta on who's good and who's not for this trade too.
Basically, I kind of explained it to him.
He did kind of tell me about it at one point. But go ahead.
Essentially, what had happened was, we had always done the trade deadline was at the commissioner's discretion, and this season, it was kind of late to begin with. And then on top of that, we had 2 teams that were doing horrible and like really bad. They literally, like, one of them didn't even win One of them was tied with Ire Storms as the worst team in ZHL history.
So 1 win.
Like 2 wins. Well, they got 1 win, 1 in OT, and they went into OT and lost 1. So comparatively, they would have been the same number of points as the Irish Storm. And then essentially all that culminated in the fact that the trade deadline was coming up. There were 2 teams that were already mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
Right.
So then every single team's trying to trade with them, obviously, like with the exception of the team that are already ruled out in one other team. But pretty much 6 teams were trying to trade with both of these teams.
Yeah.
So a trade was made between the Braxis team and the Char team, which essentially on paper would have been just normal trade, but it involved like 6 players for 6 other players. Essentially, it was a big trade. It was essentially like half the teams were swapping for both of them.
That's a lot.
And but like when you actually look at it and you have like a gauge on like how good these players, essentially a lot of people felt like it was only exclusively ZHL players traded for ZHPL players.
Yeah.
Because the team that was already eliminated didn't need ZHL players because they're not eligible for the playoffs. Right. So they traded away those players to get better Pro League players.
Yeah, and I totally see why both sides would engage in that. You want the glory of winning the ZHL, and if you can't do that, and you know you can't do that up front, do what you can to win the Pro League. I get it. Obviously, the league as a whole doesn't want that sort of stuff to happen because that's kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's exactly what I was talking about. There's, as the commissioner,
there's always something that comes up. This was the big thing.
Loophole.
This was the biggest thing that happened. Essentially, and then also let me just further keep telling you what happened. So what happened was that trade went through, and there was a lot of backlash from it because, we've had backlash from a ton of trades. Like every big trade like this, we've never had one that was this big in terms of actual players being traded for other ones, like 6 for 6. Yeah. We've had big players and big names traded before, though. And every time they're met with backlash, but this was pretty hot, and Dark had vetoed it initially, and it actually got overturned. It was the first time a commissioner's veto had ever been overturned, because essentially the way the checks and balances system works is like if you read the fine details on it, all that the commissioner needs is to make a ruling on something. He only needs the approval of 1 league manager, and with only 3 of us, 2 of us said no, and 1 of us said yes. And, it wasn't majority by league manager, but for very good reasons, that's the way it's set up because you really only need 1 league manager to approve it.
Yeah.
Which I totally agree with that because you'd never get anything done if it was always just a majority.
So 1 league manager and the commissioner agreed to veto.
Right. They agreed to veto. It was a little bit different, though, because like in the past when vetoes were used, like a counter rule was proposed that would like eliminate that from happening. Okay. But this time nothing happened like that. It was just straight up, this can't happen. This one initial trade cannot happen. It was the first time a veto was ever used like that. And it actually, the owners actually ended up overturning it because, I don't know if you also know, but that checks and balances rule, the further extension of that is that if the rule isn't liked by owners, a majority vote can overturn it. So actually 5 out of the 8 owners ended up overturning it. And it was the first time that a veto got overturned.
Oh, it sounds to me like the majority of the league didn't have a problem with the way things shook out then.
What would you have done, though?
Yeah, what would you have done if you were in that commissioner seat?
I think it sounds to me like Dark handled it the best way he could. Obviously, he didn't think that the trade was using the trade system the way that it was intended, so he vetoed, and the league told him, you know what, according to the rule book, it's okay, so we're gonna let it go through. And he did what he could, I think. Maybe the only thing I would have done differently is implement some kind of rule at the same time as the veto to say this kind of trade can't happen. Maybe put a limit on the number of players that can be traded all at once, because I think it does seem a little bit silly to be trading more than half of your roster all at once, or the equivalent of half of your roster, I guess. I don't know how big the rosters were, but
it was about a little bit less than a half. but it's still a pretty
Yeah.
good,
But
considerable chunk.
It's more than half of the number of players it takes to field both
Right.
ZHL and
For
Pro
sure.
League. So that's a lot of people to be trading all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'd put in a rule for that, or
One of the biggest
I don't know.
suggestions was to just outright eliminate teams that are already eliminated from the playoffs from interacting with any trades whatsoever. Do you feel like that would have been a
Yeah.
good course of action?
I don't personally like that. I think what the objective needs to be going forward is to try and get the trade deadline to line up with before the likely possibility of somebody being mathematically eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
You want, because the goal is parity in the league. I think from the league standpoint, you want to strive towards parity. You want to have 8 teams that all have a viable shot, or 10 teams that all have a viable shot at winning the cup when the season ends. So, come trade deadline, it'd be good if nobody's eliminated yet. Sometimes it doesn't always shake out that way, and certainly doesn't happen that way in professional sports. I know the NHL has at least 4 teams probably every season who are mathematically eliminated, but they have the added
Maple Leafs, baby.
they have Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
They have the
Dallas Stars.
were they I don't know if they were mathematically out by the time
They were out.
Trade
Pretty,
deadline.
I don't think it was the trade deadline, but I think they
Yeah.
were out pretty early.
But they do have the added benefit of the fact that you want to keep your team intact for next season,
Mm-hmm.
which you can't do in a game where people are playing as a hobby.
Right.
So I don't know. It's
Tough
a
issues,
tricky
man.
thing. It's hard to come up like I said. There's never going to be a perfect solution for it. So I don't know. You just got to come up with what works best. The lesser of evils, I think, is what you got to go for.
Yeah, well, they still ended up having a great playoff series in the finals, so
There you
it
go.
was really competitive down to the wire. So
And that's what you
they're
want.
really good for sure.
Okay, how about we do a last call for questions, and we go from there, or maybe some requests. Anything.
This is turning into the 2-hour edition of Rhyme Time, man.
Yeah,
We're
it's like I don't
we're
want it
going.
to end because then we'll never see
I
Kyle
know,
again
well-
unless we get another Amazon gift card. But here's a question: if we don't get any of them, will you consider coming back to cast the finals of CHL Season 5? Give us something to look forward to.
I'd never say never. Kurt asked me if I could cast for some stuff this season, and it just didn't work out. It's the
Rip
problem is that
co-casters.
my schedule's so so hectic. It's somebody came home. Hi, Laura,
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
my roommate.
She can't hear us. It's just going through the headphones.
But yeah, it just didn't work out. My schedule's so hard to predict most of the time.
Everyone's saying
But
hi, Laura, in the chat.
I just have a hard time planning for being able to cast. So I won't say never, but I'm definitely not going to say yes right now.
Well, thank you for carving out this 2 hours for us, man. It's been.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it just, it worked out.
What a sweetheart. So much dedication. Speaking of dedication, my girlfriend decided to watch Ted 2 instead of this incredible night. But good thing Professor X is going to put this on YouTube, so everyone will get to listen to that German accent of yours.
Dude, we got a lot of great moments in this cast. It's
There
been
were
a fun
so
one.
many good moments with
It's been a
Kyle.
fun one.
What a guy.
Last call for questions. Last call for questions before we wrap this up and say our farewells and give our shout outs and thank our sponsors. We have sponsors. I don't know if you know that, Kyle.
Right. They give you money.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We're a very big deal.
Eventually somebody's gonna watch and they're gonna be like, hey, maybe we'll we'll just give them $5. And it's like, oh, dude, yes. $5.
How big's the community these days? What's the viewership like? Maybe it's not a conversation to have on the air, though.
Dude, we actually have like 50 to 40 every game at least. And then our Reim times can fluctuate, but we get a lot more views from Reim time on YouTube, as I was telling you before.
Still probably not enough to get real sponsorship.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay, you don't have to bring us back to reality. We can dream. We can dream.
The dream's so long.
I used to do cast many years ago.
Oh, yeah?
Where we had something like God, I don't even remember what our numbers were. We were in the thousands though on weekly downloads.
Oh.
We couldn't get sponsorship to save our lives. We tried.
Damn.
Yeah, well, we got to.
We're only asking for like $5. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, who said Two Cows gives him money, so we could have a title sponsor. It's Reim.
There you go.
2 Cows.
There you go.
Great web hosting. And if you call tech support, you can talk to Gur. What a dream. I guarantee we're going to get like a cease and desist from the Home Depot. They're going to be like, okay, these porn questions need to stop.
Oh, man. That's great. That's great. All right. All right. I guess we have no more questions. Can you see anything good in the chat, Rob?
No, just stuff about how to spell Laura's name, I think.
We'll leave it a mystery. We'll leave it a mystery.
We'll leave it a mystery. So Kyle, thanks so much for coming. Do you have anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
No.
Wow.
I mean,
nobody?
Shout out to all of you in the Zealot hockey community for keeping things going and making things better than they were when I was here. Especially to you guys, Kurt and Reimer.
Thank you, friend. We do what we can.
And best of luck to Moose on the coming season.
He's gonna need it.
Yep.
Okay, I have actually kind of it's a joint request.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
One more.
Okay. Actually, no, it's just one request. It's like one of those anime things. I just want to hear you do a Kamehameha.
Oh my God! Please, why?
It's not happening.
Why you gotta do this to him, man?
I just want to hear Kyle talk a little bit longer. We need the voice pack for ZHL. Just have that play for it's like
voice pack that just. Oh, I wonder if you could do that. Record a whole bunch of voiceover. Oh, here comes Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi.
Laura. Hi. You're live on the air.
If you can hear us.
Bye, Laura.
Yeah, I wonder if you could do that. I don't know. That'd probably bog down the game too much to like record a bunch of MP3s to pull from it random for like play by play.
I probably would bog it
down.
down.
Version 2.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be so funny.
Be great.
You know, like they have in the sports video games.
Yeah. Yeah, we've always wanted crowd noise. I don't know if you watch, but I actually have like a stagnant
I remember
crowd noise now in the background.
You toyed with that. For
yeah, it's really faint, but it's in there. It helps fill the silences. It helps fill the silences. It really does. I like it.
It's a good addition.
It'd
be great to at least get that worked into the game itself. So crowd in the background, and then people take a shot and go, "Ah!" and all that.
I mean they have it on the post where they go, "Oh!" Yeah, it's already in there. Man, all right, Reim. Shout outs, Reim.
Shout outs to my parents for not understanding Reim time. They brought home dinner for me, and they're like, "Why don't you eat downstairs?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. I do an interview show on the internet.
I'm doing a live TV show.
It's Kyle."
Oh man.
Shout outs for them for not caring that I eat in my room all the time. Shout outs to your dog Chloe for being such a sweetheart, and shouts to my dog for being quiet today. Reimer getting dinnered. That would be a really sad way to ruin Reim time. Shouts to Kurt for being himself.
Thank you, friend.
Shouts to Kyle and Amazon for being so good. Shouts to Board Games for keeping Kyle entertained.
Right.
I think that's it for me. Kurt?
All right. Biggest shout out obviously has to go to the great Kyle. Thank you for coming on and doing this, man. It was a hell of a lot of fun to do. Thank you for teaching us how to be professional in terms of casting. I owe everything to you. I really do. All the casters do. We all try to emulate you in some way. And even though we'll never reach that point as great as you are, we really love how you set us up for greatness. So thank you, Kyle. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you guys for thinking so highly of me.
And everyone else,
thank yous.
and then everyone else. Obviously, the community loves you. We would love to have you back anytime. Doors always open at the ZHL CEO's office and the whole office building. Everyone loves you. I want to give a shout out to Europe. They are starting up their second draft league. So I forgot to mention that. I did kind of mention that. They're starting it up, guys, and this time North America players are welcome. So if you are interested, then please sign up. They should have a link somewhere in the forum, so please, please, please sign up for it. It is a draft league format. So for any of you NA guys that want to get involved with the second draft league over in Europe, make sure you check them out. So I just want to give a shout out to them and Junkie for picking up the reins as commish. Really appreciate that. Good job, man. And then lastly,
How's the delay these days?
oh, the delay is, you know,
Still what it was?
it's all right. We don't talk about that.
So West Coast players, you might want to.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be an East Coast thing only.
See ya.
Oh yeah, I want to give a shout out to my friend Grace. She is awesome because I don't have a car, and she drove me to get groceries today, and it is the first time that I've gotten groceries in literally like 2 months. So I now have food. I have more than a box of mac and cheese in the pantry, so now I can eat. So thank you, Grace.
Thank you, Grace.
Yeah. So anyways, that's all I got. We ready to wrap this up?
I believe we are.
You're gonna love this, Kyle. This is what I'm like known for now. Is like the ending wrap up.
All right.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting evening of Zealot Hockey and Rhyme Time. Always have a blast doing these. Don't forget to follow us here on